Hi everyone, here's the Chemist once again, and today the second adaptation of Stephen King's masterpiece, actually hits theaters, and thinking about it, I'm very much looking forward to seeing it. Thinking about it made me feel like filming a video about the book. I'm not calling it a review because I actually read the book a couple of years ago, and you know, I need to reread it in order to form an organized review, but I just felt like discussing a little bit with you. I know lots of people consider it Stephen King's masterpiece and best work. Some people have issues with some parts of the book. I remember it as one of the most pleasant reading experiences I've ever had. I remember that back then I was reading, it was actually kind of a busy period for me, and I was reading Henry Von Ofterdingen, which is a German classic by Novalis, and I would spend 1 hour in the evening usually reading it, and it was pure bliss. It was an awesome distraction, which does not mean that it is just mere entertainment, not that there is anything wrong with that, that would still be awesome, but the great thing about it is that while it is absolutely immersive and it is a total pleasure to read, it's also scary as fuck, but it's a wonderful novel. It's also a very ambitious novel, and you can really feel, even in its sheer size, can't show it to you, but it's pretty gigantic, I'm sure you know. In its sheer size, in its sheer structure, you feel how ambitious as a novel, as a project it is. It's clear in its structure, sure, but it's also very clear in its theme. So much of American literature, in my own experience, as I perceive it, is about this bizarre dichotomy, which is that, you know, lots of writers, and Stephen King is very much one of them, are clearly very much in love with America and with the potential of the nation and with its nature, its landscape, its, with the things that can happen when people from all over the world are brought together, but at the same time they are determined, and you know, very determined, to show how fucked up as a country it is and it can be. And it's a synthesis of these two tendencies, and it's a beautiful one at that. Throughout the novel you can really perceive and understand the big passion that Stephen King has for his own country and for so many aspects of American life, for, you know, the kind of freedom you can have when you live so close to the wild and to nature, with American culture and American cinema. Some of the best passages in the book deal with these kids going to see a science fiction movie from the 1950s. I think it was I Was a Teenage Werewolf, which is a great movie, by the way, do watch it. And in general, the very cast of characters are at the heart of this book. This motley cast of characters is, in a way, very American, and is this kind of diverse cast, and it's amazing. And their interaction and the way their chemistry, this kind of losers club, is one of the best things about the book, while at the same time you get the whole theme of society and American society and prejudice and the whole, all of those manias that are at the heart of the contradictions within the US. All of that is shown as the real monster at the heart of the book, or at least as monstrous as the actual murderous creature. And that's beautiful and it's amazing. And one reason why I believe that, oh, it's raining a lot. One reason why I believe this may be King's masterpiece, at least in scope, is because after reading it, actually 1 or 2 years later, I read Salem's Lot 2, and in the introduction to my edition to Salem's Lot, King himself said that in this novel, in Salem's Lot, he wanted very much, he was trying to write a great American novel, and so many of the themes at the heart of this novel, this whole, the whole dichotomy within American life and the whole horror of American society, these themes are used again in it, but they are inserted, of course, in a much wider narrative with a much wider scope, and again, much more ambitious, and with a much more complex structure. And the interaction between these two narrative flows, the one set in the past, the one set in the present, it's beautiful. I'm probably going to say something everyone agrees upon, but I do believe that, the half of the book that is set in the past is considerably better than those chapters that are set in the present. And if there's someone out there who thinks otherwise, do let me know, because so far I've only met people who preferred and who liked you know, the characters are children better. I do not think it's perfect, and I do not even think it is necessarily my favorite Stephen King's novel, and you know, some chapters are worse than others, some chapters are less entertaining and thrilling. At times the book, you know, its head is a little bit up its own ass, but you know, it's such a long book. It's a, what is it, 1,000 page book or something like that. It's nearly impossible to find a book of that size that doesn't has those same flows. There are a few plot twists and narrative passages that didn't make too much sense to me when I read it, but you know, I can't discuss them too much because I don't want to spoil the book to people who haven't read it, or spoil the movie to people who haven't watched it. Overall, yeah, it's not perfect, what is, but the, you know, the great parts in it, the best parts in it, the best chapters and nuggets in it are definitely the best stuff King has ever written, if you ask me, not an expert at all, and are among, you know, the most pleasant reading experiences I've ever had. It's Stephen King, it's it. Do read the novel, absolutely. I still have to watch the movie, so I can't assure you, but I'm pretty certain that even if you watch the movie, you probably are not going, you know, it will still make sense to read the novel afterwards, because sure, it has a great plot, but there's so much more to it that makes it worth your time. What do you think about it? Let's discuss the novel a little bit in the comment section, and let me know about the movie. If you've already watched it, it may be a little, you know, quite a long time before I manage to go to the theater, or I'll have to wait until it comes out in another form. And thank you for watching once again, guys. Bye, guys.